Today, I'm letting you in on some of my favorite items to gift pretty much anybody in your life. Some are handmade, some are thriftable, but they all have a memorable personal touch and can be thrown together in less than a day or a day. The day or less. With Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduation season, wedding season, all approaching, this can be a pretty overwhelming time to put gifts together. I feel like this time of year is almost the equivalent of Christmas time in gift giving. And arguably these gifts are more important than Christmas presents because they're usually tied to some sort of special event where you're celebrating some sort of milestone. I have such a hard time giving people junk. Junk is such a subjective word. So when I say that in this context, I just mean doodads and tchotchkes that don't necessarily add much value to the function of someone's day-to-day life and maybe don't even have like a special connection to them. Things that have a tendency to end up getting donated or thrown away really quickly. So I try to avoid giving gifts like that, but I also don't have a lot of time or money to spend crafting the perfect handmade, cherishable gifts that I would like to give. So everything on the list I'm going to share today falls in the intersection between affordable, efficient and accessible, and thoughtful. Okay, let's get into it. I feel like a lot of gift idea lists, especially if they are authored by a female, tend to be very geared toward women and girls. But I have a lot of boys in my life. I have 2 young boys. I have a husband, I have a brother, I have a dad. I have people that are boys in my life. Men. You might call them men. When I was coming up with this, I was really trying to be intentional about being equal parts for men, boys, gender neutral people. So hopefully this is inclusive. Obviously, drop down your own ideas in the comments down below and we can kind of keep this conversation going. The first one I have on this list is arguably my favorite to give, which is a kit. Kits are ideal for so many different types of people and are just such a fun present to get and to give because there can be so many little parts and pieces to it that are really easy to acquire and throw together. And maybe they're menial items, but when they're packaged as one thing, it feels really special. So for example, one of my favorite to give is a medicine kit. This is ideal for fresh graduates. It could be a great housewarming gift. I gave this as a present to my brother one year when he had gone through a breakup and was moving into a new house. Can be kind of a great present for a single guy who maybe isn't the best at taking care of himself. But basically all it is putting together a kit of any kind of medicine you would just want to have on hand. I've usually put in a Pepto-Bismol, Tylenol, Excedrin, maybe electrolytes. You could get kind of funny with it and throw in stool softener or X-Lax, just a myriad of medicinal items. No one's ever gotten that for me, but to me, that would be a golden present. I feel like I'm always out of medicine and I'm having to buy it one-off and it's always kind of expensive and it's just an annoying thing to spend your money on, you know? And so even though it's not something really glamorous and fabulous, I feel like it's an amazing gift. And you could even do it if it was too expensive to buy full bottles, for a true medicine cabinet, you could get everything travel sized, especially if they travel a lot for work or something, or if they go on a lot of vacations or whatever. For new graduates who maybe are going to live on their own for the first time ever, equipping them with that kind of thing is so perfect. And it's just one less thing they have to spend money on. And you can make it all cute and put it in a cute bin or whatever. Kind of similar to that if they travel a lot for work or they're graduating and they're going to be traveling a lot. Putting together a travel kit of some of their favorite items, if you know them, or some of your favorite items that are kind of luxe or nice to have things when you're traveling, that could be a really fun gift as well. And again, because you're buying the miniatures, it's not as much of a full commitment of buying a bunch of full-size products that can get kind of expensive. Okay, getting a little bit more specific with the gifts, I'm thinking specifically for showers, wedding showers and baby showers. I counted the other day, I think I have 10 friends that are pregnant right now, all with girls, by the way, which is crazy. And they're all due this summer. So I have a ton of shower gifts to put together. Obviously, we all want to make the most perfect quilt, the most beautiful knitted blanket, buy all the cute little clothes and all the things. But sometimes we just don't have the time to do that. And especially with having 10 people to be thinking about over these next few months, I definitely don't have the time to do that. And you could still do those things and gift them later on down the road once the baby is born and you know their name and all of the other details that go into it. I don't think you need to feel the pressure to have those special items done at the shower. So if you don't have time to do that, my favorite thing to gift, and I can't take credit for this because this was something that my cousin did for me, but the best gift to give an expecting mother is essential items for her. These can be items that are for her right now at the end of her pregnancy, but even better if it's stuff for postpartum recovery. So for example, the things she put in my bag were adult diapers. Yes, we're starting there. She put, I think it was a Dermaplast spray she put in there that I still have. We still use it on like cuts and stuff. It's like a painkiller spray, which is great for recovery down there and can just be really cooling and soothing, but can also be used on, cuts and scrapes and everything later on. And then things that I've added to give to others on top of that, just from my own experience, that I liked having a really nice lip balm, the Laneige lip balm, the Rhode lip balm. Those have always been my two favorites, so I usually try to gift one of those. And then a portable fan. And the fan is so key. These little, I think they call them stroller fans, you can attach to a stroller, obviously. So that's great for babies that are born in the summer that need like more of a direct stream of air on them for car rides, stroller rides, whatever. But it's also really fabulous for the postpartum mom, especially during like night feedings and stuff when the postpartum sweats really hit. So anyway, all of that really gets into the weeds of like pregnancy and postpartum recovery, but everybody I've gifted those things to has talked about how great those were to have. It's not only a thoughtful gift, but it'll actually be super functional for the mom. For wedding showers, it's a similar concept. One of my favorite things to do if I do have a little bit more time to personalize things is make a honeymoon kit. One thing I did in the past for one of my very best friends, I knew she was going to, I think like Mexico or something like that, and I really wanted to knit her or crochet her a swimsuit cover up of some sort, or just like something cute and special, bridal-ish, that she could have on her honeymoon, but also could be worn anytime after her wedding. I didn't have time to make that for her from scratch before her wedding shower. There was just so much going on leading up to that. So what I did was actually go on Depop and bought from someone who did crochet the perfect little swimsuit cover up. It's just like a mini dress basically. And then I just went through and hand sewed on little pearls to it just to embellish it a little bit more. I think it could be cute if you really wanted to personalize it, to like put their initials on it in pearls. So it wasn't necessarily the most affordable gift I've ever given, but it was more special because it was my best friend and she was getting married and I wanted to add my own personal touch in some way. So I thought that was really special. And then also just putting together a honeymoon kit in an actual travel bag that is easy to pack and travel with for their honeymoon. Things like sunscreen, aloe vera, I don't know, little travel toiletries, just fun little special treats to throw in there. That can be one less thing for them to think about when they're packing for their honeymoon in the chaos of all the, wedding planning that goes on. The other thing I did as a gift while I was a bridesmaid, I've done this for 2 different weddings and we did it for my wedding as well, was set up little emergency kits for both the bridal party and the groom's party. You could do this 2 different ways. You could just set them up as one gift basket that the party shares, or you could do it individually. It's one that kind of slips through the cracks sometimes in the hassle of, again, wedding planning and everything, but I usually put in an Excedrin, Pepto-Bismol, safety pins, sewing kits, lint rollers, stain removers. What else did I put in there? Oil pads and deodorant wipes, a pair of scissors, just things that are such a hassle once you get to a venue and you realize you don't have some of those things. Just can save some extra heartache and last minute trips to Target and that kind of thing. Okay, one more kit that I'll talk about is specific to kids. I don't have toddlers anymore, but they're 4 and 5. And my 4-year-old specifically, but both of them still really love just things and like collecting things and having little pouches that they put things in and little collections and stuff like that. So first of all, making them or getting them a pouch is so ideal. Let me show you actually. One of my cousins, who does not even have kids herself, always gets my kids the best gifts. And this, I can't find the other one right now, but this is one of them. She got from, let me see if I can figure out what the brand is on here. Okay, it's this brand, Call It By Your Name. And I believe they make, or at least embroider, these little pouches. And I thought this was so cute. These have been the best little pouches. Let's see what my 4-year-old has in here. A ton of money. He's got some starfish. He has his little strawberry keychain purse. What else in here? Some thread. Oh, a little donut keychain. A couple more seashells. He's locked and loaded in here, and he has tons of these little pouches all over, just full of his little stuff. And actually for his birthday recently, one of his favorite gifts of all time, if I do say so myself, I got him this little, kind of like a hiking backpack, and I just filled it with a wallet, a little pretend phone, and then he loves like glitter and sparkles and stuff like that. So we got him a couple little glitter keychains to put on the keychain, a set of spare keys we had, just like things that were kind of adult, but like still kid friendly. And first of all, he loves the backpack. It had all these pockets and compartments, and it's just been one of his favorite bags to put things in. And then having the surprise of having something in every pocket, even if it wasn't that exciting, or if it was something that was just laying around our house, extra spare change or a spare set of keys. The wallet was a big hit. He got a couple gift cards for his birthday, which he really just loves more so for having the physical card itself, more so than understanding that there's actually money behind it. So you can really personalize it based on what the kid likes. But if nothing else, going with just those basics of filling the pockets with things that are fun and maybe unexpected is always going to be a hit for kids. And it really does not have to be expensive. Oh, he got a little pair of sunglasses too. So cute. So those are fun ones. Like I said, they're my favorite to put together, and I just think they end up being really big bang for your buck. Okay, so while I'm on the topic of kid stuff, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on what kids like and things to get for them that they're gonna love, but the parents are gonna love too. And this is no slight on anybody that has ever gotten my kids toys, because first of all, thank you. But also, I know how it is when it's the day of the birthday party, you don't have a gift, you're running to Target to grab them something, and you pick the latest and greatest action figure off the shelf, and that's perfectly fine. But I will say, now that I'm a parent, I know the type of things that I love when they get. So I'm just gonna share some of those with you. And we're talking about handmade gifts for kids. For my oldest's 5th birthday, he had a Wild Kratts themed birthday. If you know what that is, great. If you don't, it doesn't matter. As with most kid shows, there's a very recognizable costume or get up that goes with the characters. I decided to make him little cake toppers out of Fimo clay. And instead of it being the characters wearing the costumes, I made these little clay figurines for him. So this is my oldest, Rocco. This is my youngest, Lucky. And this is the closest you'll ever really get to seeing their faces on my YouTube channel. They're a little bit beat up now. Little clay figurines in their likeness, but wearing like the costumes that the characters wear in the show. These aren't the most perfect things ever. And actually, my oldest was kind of upset about it because he really wanted the characters to look like the characters. He didn't want it looking like himself. So selfless king, love that. So he was a little not as impressed, but I think this is such a cute idea to make little clay figurines that look like them. And if you had a little girl, putting her in an Elsa dress or something, and it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I think when it looks really crafty like that, it's more special and fun, and you can write your initial on the shoe. I decided to leave the faces blank because I just didn't want to desecrate their beautiful little faces by attempting to draw on or make a face shape that tiny. But yeah, I just think these are really cute. And again, something you could put into something else like a pouch or whatever. If they have a favorite show, you could attempt making all the characters to that show. And then it's a little bit more personal than buying them a set. And I think it could be really fun. I don't know. Maybe not every kid would appreciate that. Maybe they just like the real thing. But this is just a fun way to put a little personal touch on it. And these took me like maybe an hour and a half to make together. And then baking time, I guess, was about 20 minutes. So maybe like 2 hours to make this. So you could really, if you had a solid half the day, you could make like 4 or 5 characters. And yeah, like have so much fun adding little details. I think those are so fun. Also, my mom, I'll have to see if I can dig up a picture of it, but my mom had gotten into making little wooden figures for my kids' dollhouse at her house. She used felting techniques and painting to make all these cute little creatures out of these basic wooden figures, and I think those are super cute too. If you know a kid that has a dollhouse already or just likes playing with little figurines, that's such a cute and special gift. Okay, if you do have like a solid half of a day and you're a knitter, one of my favorite things to gift is a fruit hat. And this actually doesn't even just apply to kids. When I was a teenager, I think I knitted every boyfriend I ever had a fruit hat. They were kind of like hipster cool at the time, you know, like kind of ironic. And it's also just it's a cute hat. So this isn't just for kids, although I will say making this for a baby or for a kid is gonna take less time, obviously, because their heads are smaller. I use my own pattern, and I usually go for a strawberry, a sugar plum, or a pumpkin. Those are like my 3 favorite hats to make. For example, if I'm doing it for a baby shower or something and the baby is born in the summer, I'll usually do a strawberry. They're born in the fall, I'll do a pumpkin. Christmas time, I'll do a sugar plum. But I've also done other ones for my kids, like Christmas trees, and I've attempted to do a flower. So there's just a lot of fun little ones you could do. And I'm sure there are tons of patterns out there, but I recommend just getting a nice thick cotton yarn that can work up pretty easily. These usually take me around like 2, maybe 3 hours to put together from start to finish, if I just have like a solid 2 to 3 hours to sit and work on it. So they work up pretty fast, and they really do make a really sweet gift. It can be keepsakes, but also are just cute and functional as well. You can kind of never have too many hats for babies or kids. For the strawberry, I love embellishing with little pearls or beads. I've done the same with the sugar plum hat, adding little clear beads to it just to give it a little bit more sparkle and dimension, but I think you could use like sparkly yarn and that'd be so cute. For the pumpkins, my favorite thing to do is to add a big curly vine to the top of the head. I think it's so cute and just adds so much movement to the hat when they move around. So good. Okay, I guess I also could have put this one under kits, but bath toys are pretty much the ideal gifts for kids and parents because they serve a functional purpose of actually being fun for the bath, and it doesn't necessarily add to the collection of toys in the house. I guess it might add to the bath toy collection. Bath toys and fun bath stuff is usually what I put in my kids' stockings, their Easter baskets, and usually some part of their birthday presents as well. So I kind of use it as an excuse for every occasion. It's also a gift that I give a ton to other people. It's kind of my go-to thing. And our favorite things to get are the Crayola bath bombs. My kids really like these because they last a long time in the bath and they're colorful, so you can actually use them to kind of write on the side of the bathtub. Washes off easily. Some of the bath crayons can be really fun, but they've been hit or miss of how good they actually are to use. Another big hit with my kids is this foam. It is so much fun. If you were ever a kid that liked playing with shaving cream in the bubble bath, this is the perfect thing. They actually make it scented and it's just a really good thick foam, like endless play. It's so much fun. So those are our favorites. We also, I think it's by Boone might be the brand, but really early on for my kids, we got them this cog set and we still play with it to this day. Those pieces are so resilient and it's just like such a fun way to play with water because you can pour things and cogs turn and different attachments spurt out differently and you can switch things on and off. Yeah, that one is just a grade A bath toy in my opinion. And lastly, for kids, you're never going to go wrong with books. This is absolutely my favorite as a parent to receive. It makes bedtime specifically more exciting and to have something to look forward to when you have a whole new set of books in. Obviously, books can get expensive if you're buying them new, but I know I've shared this before. Thrifted books are some of my favorite books ever. Go to the thrift store, go to a vintage store. You could probably get a pile of them for like $10, maybe $1 a piece. And those could be some of the best books ever. Also, if you have kids yourselves, looking through your collection and seeing if there's any that your kids have grown out of or whatever and passing them down. And I actually think that's such a beautiful and thoughtful gift. You could even write in the cover, this used to be Rocco's favorite book and now he's ready to pass it on to you, or something special like that. And it's just such a simple gift, and it's even easier than running over to Target and buying a book. So I'm gonna stop there for today. I actually decided to do this in 2 parts because I have an overwhelming list and this video is getting really long. So make sure you subscribe, turn the notification bell on if you wanna see the next part to this, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, bye.